delighted to be here at the opening of the African Gems and Jewelry Exhibition and Seminar. I am particularly happy with the theme of this year's event, Mines to Market. The theme is up and it seeks to address the value chain of the gemstone industry, that is, exploration, mining, cutting, and polishing of jewelry, thereby promoting the culture of adding value to our commodities instead of just selling them raw at giveaway prices. I want to congratulate the organizers, especially the conveners, Lotana Amina Ibatu and Junior Mohammed Oloide, for creating this platform to attract investors for the amazing gemstones and jewelry industry in Nigeria. This is the sort of collaboration that we have been calling for, in line with our roadmap objectives, which seeks to make the mines and steel industry private sector driven. As a regulator, our role is to provide the enabling environment for businesses to thrive, and we are always willing to encourage genuine efforts. I noticed from the program that apart from providing unfiltered access to end buyers of gemstones, these events have seminars and master classes that will teach upcoming professionals the art of cutting, polishing, and jewelry making, in addition to making our gemstone operators become abreast with the technological innovations that are trending in the industry right now. The African Gemstone and Jewelry Exhibition and Seminar is therefore a unique platform for the meeting of stakeholders and policymakers, master jewelers and aspiring professionals, buyers and sellers, and even people who just want to feed their eyes with the beautiful gemstones on display. I hope that with time, this event will join the growing calendar of our annual events surrounding the solid minerals sector, because the more information we put out there, the more interest we generate for the industry, and the closer we get to our target of becoming a mining destination. Finally, I want to specially thank the wife of the Vice President for coming to grace this occasion. If you know her very well, it's not just any event she comes to. This must be special, and her coming has added color to already colorful event. I will leave you with an African adage that I learned yesterday at the closing ceremony of our mining week, that you can run fast if you run alone, but you can run faster if we all run together. This is pregnant with meaning for Nigerians, that if we come together, we will do great things faster. Thank you.
Thank you very much to Minister of State, Ministry of Mines and Steel Development. I understand that certain representatives from the U.S. mission to Nigeria, if they're here, if they could just acknowledge their presence. Amen.
This gratitude to Her Excellency, Mrs. Dolakwa Shiva, the wife of the Vice President, for honoring our invitation to deliver the keynote address for this event. I'd also like to thank Her Excellency, Mrs. Ajoke Motala Mohamed, for honoring us with her presence today as our special guest of honor. Your presence with us at this event is highly esteemed, and we thank you for the honor. May I also acknowledge the conveners of this event, dynamic duo, Mrs. Jumai Oluede and Ms. Lotana Amina Egwatu. Individually and together as a team, these two young ladies represent the true Nigerian spirit of creativity and excellence. Our ministry is pleased to work with them on the staging of this conference in collaboration with other industry stakeholders. That is the essence of the Gemstones exhibition, to bring stakeholders together to discuss how to grow this specific segment of the mining industry. The roadmap for the sector identified gemstones amongst the nation's diverse mineral resources as high-value commodities that have the potential of significantly contributing to our priority goals of economic diversification, wealth creation, and jobs creation. In my position as the Chief Marketing Officer of the Nigerian Mining Jurisdiction, I'm frequently approached by many young Nigerians who want to know of opportunities in the industry. I unreservedly commend the gems and jewelry segment of our industry to such budding entrepreneurs to explore. You wouldn't find a more extensive value chain with relatively lower risk profile and entry points. However, in spite of the huge potentials in gemstone mining, phenomenal loss of revenue and damage to the environment remain major causes of concern. This is due to the uniqueness of the occurrence of gem deposits and the quantity to value per quantity advantage of gemstones, which make illegal activities and smuggling rampant. Thus, the inability of the sector to deliver on expected economic outcomes. Consequently, in past years, the gemstone sector had largely been a vehicle for money laundering, with the average dollar value of Nigerian gems exported put at over $3 billion annually. The local mining industry for gems remained at its primitive level of shovel and digger, and Nigeria's vast untapped gemstone resource was not being optimally exploited for the benefit of Nigerians. The goal of our reforms in this segment of the mining industry has been to ensure proper organization of the gemstone sector, from prospecting to exploration to mining, processing and marketing of gemstones in Nigeria, with emphasis on regularizing the activities of the artisans who mostly engage in it. Our strategic policy thrust have been centered around a number of objectives, including the need to centralize all gemstone sector activities and ensure transparency and ease in organizing and monitoring gemstone artisanal mining, to halt personal exports of minerals which have hitherto abetted smuggling and other sharp practices, to ensure accurate records are kept of sources of gemstones, including the state of origin of those gemstones, to ensure due process in line with international best practice in our gemstone mining and marketing activities, to ensure artisans and dealers get good prices for their gemstones in Nigeria, to ensure cooperation of all governments, departments regulating gemstone sector activities, and to boost our GDP by ensuring due repatriation of gemstone export proceeds through the Central Bank of Nigeria, to boost our revenue accruals by ensuring appropriate collection of royalties, and to ensure accurate payment of derivation to the states where the gemstones exported were excavated from. And finally, to ensure all gemstone mining is carried out in a sustainable and environmentally friendly manner. The foregoing objectives have guided our interventions in this critical segment. In line with our roadmap, Our ministry has therefore commenced the implementation of strategies aimed at developing the vast value chain of gems and jewelry towards expanding the range of opportunities available to Nigerians. Allow me, Your Excellency, to also touch on some of the other strategic reforms that directly impact on this segment of the mining industry in our ministry. In yesteryears, the mining sector was seen as the exclusive preserve of expatriate illegal miners or old school players. Today, we're pleased that our reform efforts have brought about stronger participation and shared responsibility across board, especially with a more youthful demographic. Many young people have worked with us on our journey to build a more vibrant mining sector, serving on statutory committees and in advisory roles. Their energy, optimism, and vision has blended with the wisdom, experience, and carefulness of our older veterans in the sector. And this has helped produce the results we're now seeing in the industry. It is now clear that the new face of mining in Nigeria is the young men and women taking positions in various segments of the industry. This is especially the case in the gems and jewelry segment. The sector has become increasingly attractive and appealing to the younger generation on account of efforts carried out to simplify the business of mining in Nigeria. No longer is any segment of the population shut out from mining. The Nigerian mining sector now has a new buzz and increased activity from players within and without the country. There is equally improved mine security, which is an important consideration for players in the upstream segment of the gems and jewelry sector. The institutional capacities of the ministry and its agencies have been strengthened to effectively regulate the sector, with a particular focus on mine safety and security. A new partnership has been forged with the Ministry of Interior and the Nigerian Police Force, the Nigerian Civil Defense, and the Department of State Security, as well as the Nigerian military, to establish a mine surveillance task force as provisioned for in the mines law. This has led to a number of high-profile arrests of expatriate illegal miners and their Nigerian collaborators. In order to stem the tide of illegal trading of minerals, particularly of precious metals and gemstones, the ministry has registered over 30 mineral buying centers and enacted the Revenue and Reporting Compliance Agreement with the Nigerian Customs Service, which has improved the policing of mineral exports. In this way, the ministry is undertaking a range of training programs with the Nigerian Customs Service, because it's clear customs officers themselves are not very knowledgeable about these precious metals that we're talking about. So it is easy for anyone to walk out of our airports with huge amounts of jewelry without any attention being paid to the illegality of their action. And to this end, we are collaborating with the Customs Service to train them in recognizing the difference between silver and lead and zinc, and between gemstones and base metals, and so on and so forth. There's also improved access to finance in the sector. We have come a long way in systematically de-risking the Nigerian mining sector and attracting investment and development funding. We have operationalized the Nigerian Solid Minerals Development Fund to provide financing to projects in the sector. In collaboration with the Bank of Industry, the ministry has launched a 5 billion naira fund to provide single-digit interest loans at 5% to mining projects at the artisanal and small-scale end of the sector. Also, we've secured approval to access 30 billion naira from the Natural Resource Intervention Fund for the promotion of exploration and to strengthen the regulatory capacity of the ministry. I should add that the ministry through the federal government has also secured $150 million support from the World Bank for the Mineral Diversification Project aimed at funding strategic interventions in the sector at the upper end of the sector. plans are fully advanced to assemble a $600 million investment fund for the sector, working with the Nigerian Sovereign Investment Authority and the Nigerian Stock Exchange. All of these have resulted in multiple channels available to players in the sector to advance their projects. In formalizing and supporting artisanal and small-scale miners, we've commenced the implementation of strategies such as the establishment of cooperatives. Additionally, we have facilitated extension services for ASMs to improve their productivity. We've also provided capacity building training for artisanal and small-scale miners carried out by the Nigerian Institute of Mining and Geosciences in partnership with the Gemological Institute of America. Several other reforms were carried out in the mining industry directly impact on the gems and jewelry segment, and we're delighted that this exhibition supports our aspirations and objectives. Positioned to be a forum for the deepening of the knowledge assets in this niche segment of the mining industry, participants at this exhibition and seminar will engage topics such as connecting the dots, linkages in the gems and jewelry industry, structuring fair trade for the gems and jewelry industry in Nigeria, masterclass on identification and grading of rough gemstones in the field and pearl identification, technological innovations in the jewelry value chain, and masterclasses on material testing, among several others. Importantly too, this exhibition and seminar is positioned to be a viable forum to facilitate trade channels between local players in the gems and jewelry sector and the international market. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I invite you to take advantage of this event and explore the amazing Nigerian and African gemstones and jewelry value chain. Feel free to engage the gemstone suppliers and gem mining industry experts. Network, share business ideas, showcase strengths, and take part in shaping the outlook for the future of this industry. As I conclude my remarks, may I once again thank all those that have worked with us in one way or the other to make this event a success. We have a long way to go in developing the gemstone sector, but we have also come a long way in building the right foundation for sustainable growth. Indeed, there is no better sector to be involved in than the mining sector at this point in time. There is no better time to enter than now. I thank you all for listening and wish you all fruitful deliberations. Thank you.
Please another round of applause for the Honorable Minister, Mines and Steel Development. I think it's worthy of note to once again appreciate the ministry for...
As you can see, this is an impromptu speech. I was not expecting to speak here, but I was dragged to say a word or two. I will try. The only area that was left out by the Honorable Minister is the area of consular issues, and I'm very, very delighted that all the key stakeholders are here in this forum. It's a very, very serious issue, for Nigeria, because in Thailand alone, we have close to 1,000 people in jail, which is very embarrassing for our country. So I'm craving the indulgence of the organizers of this event to counsel, the investors, genuine investors, so that at least whenever they're traveling outside Nigeria, they should go through the proper channel. And I'm very delighted with what the Honorable Minister said also regarding exporting, these precious, items to foreign countries through proper channel. It is very, very key. That is the only window that Nigeria can realize the diversification, policy of this administration. That is moving away from the oil, to solid mineral and other areas like agriculture. So, and also return the income earned from this, exports, back to Nigeria. Certainly, if it is not routed through the proper channel, through the central bank, there is no way you can trace, what has been exported out of Nigeria, and then, to know how much the country is earning. So I wish the organizers of this event, every success in this area, and I also welcome our people, many more people to come to Thailand and invest, and partner with them because they are well advanced in this area of business, so that at least we can collaborate with them. And on the part of the embassy and the Nigerian government, certainly will ensure that the right avenue, is provided so that we can assist all the investors, in ensuring that, they are meeting the right kind of people, while investing in this area of business. And for the organizers of this event, congratulations, because this is a terrific gathering, and I hope it will be the beginning of better things to come for this country. Thank you very much.